Hello and welcome to Racine. This is a deck building auto battler, and it features persistent upgrades in a variety of senses. So for example, if you were to go to my skills menu here, you can see that I have 0 of this resource right now. However, that is going to change after we have done our first adventure. And these upgrades are actually amazing. Every single opponent has a sort of timer that they attack on, and when you have this upgrade, you can see when enemies are ready to attack. In other words, you can see when you're going to be playing a card, because cards, when they are played, provide you with a small damage reduction shield, and that is going to, of course, be very strategic, and you're going to need to use that as effectively as possible. Otherwise, as I said before, persistent upgrades throughout your entire run. So it's not a case of entering one battle using this thing that increases your damage by 5% and then immediately losing this. No, it is persistent through every single battle that you have in that particular run, up until either you die or you are victorious. And so as a result, I'm actually going to be taking 5 of these, and we're going to be taking 2 heals, actually 3 heals apparently. That's pretty good actually, because the heal is really useful, and otherwise we're just going to be going forward. Now there is another resource up there. That resource is for a variety of things, including potions, and you can only take 1 potion in the entire run. You can buy other things at merchants and stuff like that, but otherwise, if you'd like to check out the game, there is a link in the description. There is a demo available as part of Steam Next Fest, and this is definitely one of the really fun experiences that I've had so far in Steam Next Fest. I've already played this for about 30 to 40 minutes just to do a run, just to see what it's all about and to know what I'm kind of doing, I guess. Otherwise, apart from that, let's leave and go straight up into the I guess you could kind of call it the world map, something like that, because it is looking very much like a world, and you can see exactly why. You see all these little icons right here? You see these little black icons with the white outline? Yeah, they all indicate a particular area that provides you with something. It could be a new card, it could be some equipment, it could be something random. It's going to be extremely interesting to see whether we can actually make good use of it. Now, the main system you're going to be taking note of is the bottom left. You see the bottom left? You see that particular number that continues increasing? That is your key level. Your key is your energy, basically, and you're going to need as much of that as possible to be able to cast your cards. I was going to say spells, but I mean, they kind of are spells, I suppose, in a certain way. But you're going to need as much ki as possible. There are a variety of things that you can do to gain more ki, but there are a number of different cards that are also going to cost different amounts. So you may see me casting things that cost 10, and that's the point. There's not much more that I can do right there. I'm actually just going to be drawing a card here so that I can actually play more of these. Now, you may notice as well, look at exactly what happened there. The battle was extremely quick. And you may think, oh, that was so incredibly easy, right? Yeah, it is easy, but here's the thing now. This is a very early battle, and you actually may not want to have the battles be that fast. You don't want them to be over too fast, because then you're going to have less opportunity to power up your character. I know that seems a bit weird, but that is the strategical benefit of having a fight that lasts that much longer. And you can see here, now we have come across a training device of some kind, and as you can see, we should be able to get something from it if we manage to succeed the trial. So we can have a trial of patience, or we can have a trial of protection. This, I believe, affects what kind of reward you get. I'm going to go for trial of patience, and this means that we're going to be fighting much harder opponents, as you can see. And you can only play cards, by the way, when enemies are directly in front of you. You will not be able to use cards while waiting for enemies to come toward you. So it is a little bit turn-based in that aspect, but obviously everything is based on timers, and you don't directly have control over your character. So that's something to bear in mind too. Anyway, we've now acquired an artifact of some kind. As you can see, each card played reduces the cost of similar cards. In my opinion, an extremely powerful artifact, so I will be indeed taking that, and then we will be moving on. Oh yes. Okay, we're going to go into the card here so that we can maybe get a new one. And bear in mind, obviously, as you take a look on the left side there, you can see exactly what's happening with my statistics. You have life increases, you have armor increases, damage, you have basically every single thing under the sun that you could want. Personally, I feel like evasion and critical hits as well as speed are some of the most important. Of course, damage is definitely very important too, but as it stands, okay, here we go. We've got a card. This actually increases my critical chance. I'm probably going to be taking this almost immediately. We can actually choose to take more than just one, by the way. So if we want to, we can take just the critical card, and then I can reroll if I want to. I think I will reroll just to see. Next attack ×2, discard 1. No, not a big fan of that. Speed +1, that could be kind of useful, so I will take that. And then we'll reroll once again. Evasion +1 is okay. I did have a card in my previous run that actually provided me with +4% evasion, so yeah, but it was obviously a lot more expensive. So when you have +4 evasion, it costs you 40 instead of 15, so there's also that to consider. Otherwise, apart from that, we're just going to be taking all of these into my deck. As you can see, we're now maxed out once again, and now we can continue onward, and I can just freely move around the tiles that I have already cleared, as you can see. So let's go into this one. This is another event of some kind. Oh, hello there. Hello, traveler. Let me help you by filling your pockets with exciting charms of my making. Take a look at them. They all have their own little spice. Okay, so now we have the ability to pick another charm of some kind. Take less cards, get less choice. Blood is your money, or picking and selling are worth nothing. Picking and selling are worth nothing? What does that mean? I guess I'll take that. Very well, I hope that you will be wholly satisfied with my little trinkets. And if you're not happy with what you've got, worry not. All you have to do to get rid of the effects is to simply die. Yes, indeed. Yes, so if we would like to restart the run and get rid of our artifacts, then we can very easily do that by just dying. Yes, exactly. Anyway, yeah, we will try and just continue increasing my damage as much as possible. We're going to try and get some evasion as well. As you can see, my costs have been reduced with my damage cards, so I will be trying to increase those as much as possible. Getting any particular percentage of critical, for example, as well as evasion is going to help, because at some point or another, 1% is going to activate. And obviously, it is going to be a very rare chance, but it is still a chance in comparison to 0%, you know what I mean? So it kind of does make sense. Otherwise, we're going to be going for some more speed now as well. I should probably use this potion at some point too, probably when we get around to a slightly harder opponent area, potentially. Let's just play a bunch of these. There we go. More damage, please. There we go. Yes, wonderful. Now, this is exactly what I'm talking about. It feels very strategic to play this game, and you may not think so because obviously Autobattler, you know, you're not really in control of your character, but it is actually very fast-paced, very, very intriguing in regards to its own mechanics. And you also have to bear in mind that there's this little bar on the left here. I don't know whether you've noticed that. I have a red card in my hand at the moment, which, wow, look at that. That fight was actually perfect for us. You see how much we gained from it? Really quite crazy. Anyway, this card right here, just going to explain that real fast. Every single time you play a card, you gain a certain amount of red energy. And this red energy is going to fill up this bar on the left side of the screen. And that bar, once it is full, enables you to use this special 3 combo attack, and it basically does a lot of damage. And it will automatically attack a number of different enemies, and it can be extremely useful for you to use that. So it's a good idea to keep that in mind. Otherwise, we're just going to continue to go onward here, and I'm going to try to use damage here if I can. Just try to get that as much as possible before we end the fight. Gonna get some more speed, We're taking some pretty heavy damage here, actually, all things considered. I might even need to use my potion in the next fight. We're taking a bit of a slightly different stance to what I did beforehand. Okay, there we go. I've actually increased my evasion, as you can see, by 30%. Yes, it's pretty crazy. Yep, there we go. And now we are done. Yeah, so as you can see right there, I increased my evasion by 30%. Hopefully it's going to last a little bit longer than before, because I actually did have a particular run where I used the potion and it actually lasted for a very significant amount of time, a very long period of time. So I'm really, really hoping that that's going to be a similar thing going on here. But obviously we can't really you know, count on that. So let's just say that. Anyway, having the evasion, as you can see, is going to reduce my evasion statistic over time as well. So you've got to bear in mind that every single time I evade, I lose 1% evasion. So, of course, it's going to be that way. You know, you've got to make sure that you just either replenish it, maybe you have a card that replenishes your evasion, or maybe you just deal with that and you just kind of have to cross your fingers and hope that that's absolutely fine and you don't have to worry about it too much. But otherwise, every single time you go into a battle as well, your statistics are regenerated. In other words, I have full evasion back again. I have full armor if I had armor, of course, because I don't have armor at the moment. And look at all my damage right here. Just going to be spending all these wonderful, wonderful resources here. And we're gaining so much skill. This is really quite amazing. All right, well, should we say so much ki, because it's really making a massive difference to our effectiveness. And look at how much bonus damage we gained from this. I think that it's going to be a lot of damage that we gained. Anyway, I could go for another healing card, or I could literally just re-roll. I'm actually thinking of re-rolling all of this, so that's what we'll do. Armor is very, very good in my opinion. Turn rage into ki. That actually sounds really nice, actually. I might go for that. And I don't really want to re-roll any further, and I don't really want the katana ability, so I'm just going to leave it as it is. We have another space for 2 extra cards here. Going to be taking armor and power move, and then we're going to be moving on. There we have it. Okay, so here's the thing. This is what I really loved about this game initially when I first tried out my run beforehand off screen. I really like the fact that they give you a variety of different paths to take, because obviously, you don't have to go down to all of these places. You don't have to go here. You don't have to go here. You can very easily just make your way all the way through and go to the boss. You can do that if you want to. You're not forced into doing anything like that. But you can if you feel like powering up your character just that much more than you would otherwise have to. You don't necessarily have to, though. That's the whole point. That's the reason why it has that feel of strategy to it. And why I really like it. That's the reason why it's an extremely addictive experience, because you just literally think to yourself, okay, wait a minute, what if I do this instead next time, you know? What if I do that instead? And so on and so forth. And it really makes a huge difference in that regard to its own feel, you know? It feels good to explore the world, which is really weird because it's basically just these standalone fights, and you may not think, oh, this is so incredibly, you know, interesting or whatever, but it actually is. It's so incredibly, I don't know, it gets you invested. I think that's what's going on here. It gets you invested. And we're just going to continue trying to power ourselves up as much as possible, as you can see. You can also draw things as well. Unfortunately, I can't draw anything right now. I think I actually have a bit of an issue. Wait a minute. Okay, I think I might have a bit of an issue here, to be honest. Yeah, that was a bit of a problem, yeah. So apparently I have taken an artifact or something. There must be an artifact that I have that has now made it impossible for me to draw new cards. So I actually have to play cards to be able to gain them, which is obviously a very different way of playing, because in my previous run, I actually had the ability to draw cards for 5 ki, but now I am actually unable to do that. So I'm going to have to play potentially useless cards to be able to progress and to be able to draw new ones. So that's actually a pretty big deal in my opinion. Anyway, I have 110% speed now. That's going to be pretty nice. That's going to be doing a lot of work for us. And maybe I can get some more critical as well. Basically, I want to try and get as much critical as I possibly can. If I can get more cards that will give me more critical and more evasion and all that wonderful stuff, I could basically go for a build that pretty much makes me immune to damage, you know? And that's the funny thing, because as I said at the very beginning of the episode, the amount of fighting that you do dramatically changes how effective your character is on a fundamental level. Which is really weird, because you may not think that. You may think, oh yeah, if I go into another fight, I'm gonna die here, you know what I mean? It's that kind of deal. Anyway, I'm probably... should I take another damage card? I don't think I need more damage cards, do I? Boost one card. That could be really, really useful, actually. I'm thinking we'll boost it. I think we'll get that, and then we're going to re-roll the rest, and we'll see. New hand. That could be really, really useful too, but that is obviously going to cost me money. No, I'm going to quit. I'm not going to take anything else, and we'll just go with the boost card, and there we have it. Bear in mind that your maximum hand size increases, or should we say deck size, increases due to how many cards you've taken from these particular events. So you don't necessarily need to quit out, but I'm trying to keep my deck size relatively low, but obviously I'm not really succeeding too well here. Maybe I should actually reduce my my damage cards a little bit. Actually, I need to do that. Okay, is there anything else that I can take? No. See, so I need to take these damage cards, yeah. Need to take those. Technically, I could take the heal cards. It might be actually kind of useful for me to take the heal cards instead, because then I'm going to get healed just that much more often, which is obviously going to be pretty useful, considering at the moment I'm actually looking... I'm not looking particularly good, let's just say that. I'm actually taking a pretty significant battering here, but maybe I'll be able to do some damage here and get my attack boosted. Okay, here we go. This is going to be wonderful. We're going to do a nice little evasion here, I think. There we go. We're going to get double the evasion. Let's get another heal as well. Nice, nice. And let's go for my special attack. This is the special attack, by the way. As you can see, it just completely eliminates one of them and then deals with the other one at the same time. And there we have it. Very nice and easy. And bear in mind, we are going to be gaining resources at the same time. I don't know whether you've noticed that, but there is a resource in the top left here. That is a resource that is going to be used to basically upgrade your skills and gain skills for you over time. So it's really going to make a huge difference. Anyway, we're going to go for armor here, and then I'm going to hopefully be able to play some more cards. In general, I would like to be able to use this... never mind. See, too slow, you see? It's too slow for me to regenerate my key, and that's the reason why I say maybe sometimes it's actually a pretty good idea to be in a longer fight. And hilariously enough, here's a longer fight for us. This is indeed a mini-boss. So this is going to be interesting. I'm not sure if I'm even going to be able to achieve victory here, but I will very much hope that I will. Okay, this is actually pretty good for me because we're going to be able to reduce the cost of all of these cards. Okay, there we go. And there we go. And wonderful. Okay, so he's absolutely dead. That is wonderful. And now, what's really cool about this is it basically transforms this monstrosity back into some creature or another. I'm actually not entirely sure what the creature is. But I'm going to assume that it's someone that you're trying to help. So that's something to bear in mind as well. Because you're obviously trying to help the world to heal from the overwhelming might of the corruption or whatever it is. I'm not entirely sure what the enemies are, but they're obviously trying to do bad things. And we want to make sure that they do not. Thank you very much. Yes, that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Anyway, let me see if I can just kill this. Can we get another bit of armor, please? There we go. Continue healing myself. I actually got a bit lucky here this time around where I was actually able to heal myself quite nicely. And I'm going to get some more damage, I think. There we go. And there's a special move. Not going to do that. I will heal myself just before the end of the fight, which is real nice. And then we're just going to continue onward around here. Now, bear in mind that there is a slight time limit. I think there is a slight time limit to the game. Which I was not aware of the first time around because I think I just went in a straight line, basically. I went in a straight line all the way to the end boss, and I was actually able to achieve victory, surprisingly enough, and I had a much weaker character, so that's the reason why I wanted to play a new run and see just how much more powerful my character could become, you know what I mean? So that's the reason why I'm kind of trying to do that. Let's do more evasion here. Let's try to do this. Power move. Okay, that could be... Yeah, you know what? Let's just use this. Yeah, just heal, critical. There we go. Dead and wonderful. Look at how many stats we're gaining right here. It's so incredible. Okay, so, yeah, as you can see, there is some corruption on the world map there, so I'm a little bit worried about that. But you can see that we're doing some pretty nice damage right now, so I shouldn't have to worry too much, but you know how it is. You know how it is. Sometimes you need to be a bit careful. Okay, we're going to just boost this card. We're just going to turn this into key. Thank you very much. And then we'll go for some armor. There we go. Boost it. Yes, boost it. Very nice. Let's continue boosting all of these cards. Let's get some evasion just before we end the fight. And there we have it. Alright, so yeah, as you can see, this particular area here seems to be corrupted in some way, so it seems to me like I'm going to need to go up to the top instead of going through the bottom area there, so that's going to be a little bit tricky for us, possibly. Not sure about that, but I guess we'll find out. Wow, super nice criticals. We're doing loads of damage now because I have 38% critical chance. 40% now. And we can just continue to spend key here, because my key generation is actually pretty good right now, surprisingly enough. Let's boost the card. We can only boost this one, unfortunately, but this is a ×2, which is really, really nice. But, yeah, unfortunately, my boosts didn't really work out too well. We just got really bad draw at that point. So, yeah, we didn't really get that much benefit from it, but it's fine. As you can see, my stats are absolutely fantastic. They're looking really, really good right now. And we are full HP. My armor is actually starting to do things now as well. Do bear that in mind. And hilariously enough, as I said before, in my first run, I had zero. Well, I had a very small amount of evasion. Let's just say that. I had a very small amount of evasion. I actually had, I think, 8% or something like that. And I think I had a lot more armor. So that's the kind of thing you can do. You can actually build your deck to suit yourself. So it's not really, it is RNG, of course, in a certain aspect, because of course you're going to get random cards most of the time when you go into these card-based reward areas, you know, but you can influence it to a certain respect. So that's something to bear in mind. Otherwise, here we go. We're gonna obviously try to get through here, and then we will hopefully be able to move on before the corruption hits any other part of this area, because I know for a fact that in my previous run the corruption was actually affecting multiple areas on the map at once. Yes, there it is. There's the other bit of corruption. Not sure what that actually means, as I say. I'm not sure what that means, but I can only assume that maybe it prevents you from going that way, or maybe there is an extremely difficult opponent in that particular area. So you probably want to be a bit careful of going in there, to be honest. But as I say, you should check out the game. There is a link in the description to actually go and download the demo. It is a very, very quick download as well, and I'd wholeheartedly recommend it. It really is a fantastic experience, and it feels tense, but it also feels a little bit laid back, because you're mostly thinking to yourself, okay, how can I use my resources effectively enough to make a difference to how my character is going to succeed in their mission. That's the thing that you got to think about, right? That's the thing that you got to think about, and that really makes a huge difference in general. Anyway, I'm going to turn my rage into key here, and then just spend a huge amount of them. There we go. Fantastic. That was really, really nice, actually. And we'll go for armor here and another damage, and then I'll use power move, I think, and that will turn rage into key. There we go. We've got some more, and then we can do some more of this. I'm just trying to spend it as fast as possible, because I'm going to assume that my character's probably going to do massive damage. Yep, there you go. But look at how much we're getting. Yeah, we are really powering ourselves up. It's looking really good for our chances against the boss right now. As I said before, I was able to achieve victory against the boss initially, but I was just wanting to see how far we could actually push ourselves really here. And we seem to be doing a really, really nice job so far. I was actually wondering where the critical cards were, because it felt like we were taking quite a while to get to that point once again. There we go. We've got 120% speed now. Alright, so yeah, we're just going to continue straight onward. There is a rest area that I just passed by, so technically you could go in there if you wanted to, but obviously for me, right now, I don't need the rest area. I think we're looking pretty good. You know, we're looking pretty good. Okay, so let's go for some more evasion. And then we're just going to heal, I guess. I mean, there is really no point in healing for us right now. So I guess I'm just going to spend these cards. Just spend everything that I can just to boost myself up as much as possible. And look at this. We've got a pretty long fight here, which is really good. Because the more key we get, the more powerful we're going to get. And so the longer it takes for us to actually achieve victory, the better. That's the reason why I'm not using my special ability right now. Because using my special ability is basically going to make it possible for the opponent to just get murdered. You know, they're going to get murdered very, very quickly. So the more I can literally just spam cards here, the better. I'm actually going to use my special ability now. There we go. And we're just going to spam. Okay, oof. But look at that. 85% increased damage. That is so incredibly good. That really is. And no doubt, as you've seen, we have maximum stat up here, which is basically the resource that we use to, you know, re-roll cards and even purchase some of the cards at the random areas. But obviously, this is the penultimate level for us right now. Technically, as I said, I could have gone further. You know, I could have explored further. And that's actually the wonderful thing about the game too. You are not forced into going for the boss straight away. And it feels like you can basically decide where you want to go. You can go backwards, you can go forwards, you can go left, right, up, down, you know, wherever you want. And that really makes a huge difference in itself, because usually in these kinds of deck building, roguelike kind of experiences, usually they force you to go forward, right? But there's actually a lot of freedom, surprising freedom in this game. So that really makes a huge difference too, to the feeling of, yeah, I'm going to be strategic about this. You know, I'm going to move this way instead of that way. And I'm going to try to make the most of whatever I can do. You know what I mean? It really makes a big difference. Anyway, let me see if I can actually just use my ability here, just so I can continue to earn rage. Look at that damage. Such incredible damage. And we can just continue doing that. There we go. More criticals. Wonderful. All right. So here we go. This is the boss. How quick do you think we're actually going to defeat the boss? I'm going to assume pretty fast. Yes, I'm going to assume pretty fast. Let's see. All right, here we go. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that what we're going to see right here is, yeah, obviously it's going for a phase. Yeah, it's doing the same thing that it did before, which is perfectly fine. Basically what happens is it goes away at 66% health, as far as I'm aware, and then it comes back after you've killed the ads. And then after you've killed the ads, you get it down to 33% HP, and then it will come back after that, and then you can hopefully finish it off. And that's basically how it works. I'm going to use my special ability here to eliminate the last couple of opponents, and then the enemy will come back in a second. I'm actually just going to be trying to spend as many cards as possible. As you can see, we're actually taking a bit of a battering right now. Going to turn this into key right here, 25%, or actually 25 additional key, and we should be completely fine. But you can see there that the opponent was actually not exactly that easy. I would have expected us to maybe take a little bit longer, or shall we say a little bit, I don't know, I don't know. I was thinking maybe we'd kill it just that much faster, but I don't know. Anyway, as you can see, before you go on, just a quick message to say a really big thank you for playing our game, and tell you that if you wish to get the latest news about the game or share your feedback, you can follow us on Twitter or join our Discord server, and that's a message from the developers, of course. And I'd highly recommend doing either one of those things if you have some feedback for them. But for me personally, I think this game is absolutely wonderful. I basically have no suggestions here. I have found nothing about the game to be obtuse or unexplained or anything like that. And the only thing that I would like to see is maybe more skills. More of these skills that I can pick up, because obviously, as you can see right here, I can unlock this, which allows me to now see when enemies are ready to attack. And for example, let's see, what else can I get? I have 124, so I can only get 100. Yeah, so in other words, I can get this. Unused cards are automatically sold at the end of fights, increasing the amount of healing. Or we can get this. Every key point left at the end of the fight gives you a small amount of health. I'm going to probably take that. That sounds like a pretty decent idea. But as you can see, the other upgrades that you have available are adds a 4th stronger blow every 3 attacks. Can be very useful for those longer fights. Your super bar slowly depreciates at the end of the fight. giving you some time to play your remaining cards. In other words, you can make your character just that much more powerful. As you can see, the developer themselves knows that the longer the fight, the better your character's going to be. But you've got to be careful about that, because obviously your key is the thing that generally, determines that. And also you can see here, look at this. This is more of a risk-reward kind of situation. So accumulate key faster when your health points are below 50%. Picking cards is free when your health points are below 20%. I mean, really, this is the ultimate risk-reward right here. And then see the next card you'll pick. So then you can make, more strategic decisions and so on and so forth. But this is exactly what I'm talking about with this game. I think the only thing I can really suggest is I just want more of these. I want more skills. That's it. But of course, this is a demo. This is very much a work in progress. Everything is subject to change, and I would highly recommend playing it yourself, because you'll see exactly how much of a fun and enjoyable experience it actually is. Anyway, that is going to be it for this episode. If you would like to check out Racine, there is a link in the description, and there is a demo available right now. And if you like it enough, then by all means, add it to your Steam wishlist. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.